And I'm happy to sort of be doing this celebration of the new year, because I think celebrating a new year ahead is worth doing. This has been quite a year, so the next year ahead is something to try to look optimistically towards. And of course, being the year of the ox is actually got some fitting elements to that. And it relates to the idea of what Qigong is. So what I want to do is I want to introduce a bit of an idea of what Qigong is, and then just reference the ox just for a moment, because it is part of it, and then we'll start to move. Qigong just means to work with energy. Qi is energy. Energy is part of life, but it's a very large umbrella term. It's a big term. It has a lot of different meanings. I'm not going to try and pigeonhole it in any way, but Gong is to work. So to work with energy, well, that's exercise in its most fundamental form. You're going to work with the fact that you're alive, your body moves. There's a correlate between qi and blood, so you want to get the blood out to the extremities, and that's basically the main goal. The calming of the mind and the meditative state that you develop is just an extension of that for a fundamental idea. You're going to work with your energy, and you need to do that from a calm state. So it's really a simple term, but it relates to a whole plethora of different practices, and they can be in a whole different categories of and different aims. So today is just a simple one for health and for mindfulness, for awareness. And as it relates to ox a little bit, I'm going to mention this throughout the class just for fun. Ox are very disciplined animals. They have been honored and been given much gratitude throughout history for helping people farm and to just work hard every day and pulling the plow or pulling the cart or whatever it is that they do. And that's really a good attitude for Qigong, is you're going to work hard. You're not going to assume that you're going to achieve the highest levels immediately, but you're just going to work hard at it, because that's the attitude to achieve great things. And that's a good attitude to take into this next year ahead, I think, too, is that you're going to be disciplined about taking care of your health, taking care of the people that you can take care of in society, and like an ox, be strong and keep moving. Okay, so that's my little spiel on that. Now let's do some movements. Before we do any of those, as a traditional dojo would begin, I want everyone to put their hands by their side. And then I want to thank you for your time with a bow and acknowledge the class in that way. So I think that starts the class well. So what I want you to do to start then is to put your feet out slightly wider than shoulder width, but not too much. And then just sort of let your weight sink down. Allow your hands to fall and just hit the top of your legs, and then point your fingers in at each other. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to feel this sinking, hanging sensation of this posture along the framework, the skeleton, to just sort of allow itself to hang here. Now, in Qigong, Tai Chi, martial arts, there's this concept that from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, you cut it in half, and you have a point right here below the belly button called the dantian. So what we want to do now is I want to start to think about this spot of my body rather than anywhere else on the outer part of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down and then bring it back up and drop it down and bring it back. In a small circle in this way. 1, 2. So there's a small sinking and then it's slightly coming back and a very small rise. Now, when you do this, you breathe out. When you do this part, you breathe in. So this is to warm up the knees, bring the awareness to the weight on the ankles. And secondarily, but also very important, to be aware of the alignment of the spine. So sink and push your feet a little wider and put your hands out a little further from your body. And now your hands are going to do this motion. They're going to come up and they're going to come towards you, and then they're going to come down and forward again. So now we're getting our hips to move because we're coming up with our hands, but we're also getting our shoulders to relax a little more and to roll a little more back and start to open up too. Now, focus on your breathing. When you breathe in, allow your stomach to expand like a balloon. When you breathe out, you're pushing the air out through your stomach from here. slow it down, and just feel like waves crashing upwards, coming upwards, and crashing down. Now, take your hands up, close two fists, point them forward, and come back. Now put your stance out a little wider, a little stronger, keeping your back straight. And now open your hands and extend a little more. Bring the palms up towards your face and down. Same dynamic motion in the hips, so up and down. So we just expanded the motion, is all we did. But when your hands come up by your face, make sure that the palms are coming close and brushing down. So you're looking through your hands for a second and then down. Breathing in, breathing out. And then finally, put your stance out even wider, starting to push into what they call horse riding stance, and letting your leg muscles really kind of work for a moment, just sort of getting the muscles to wake up, basically. And now, excuse me, really slowly 3 times. Breathe in with me, 1, slowly. Breathe out slowly. Feel the dynamic through your whole body. And again, feel the upward motion from your feet. Breathe into your stomach. Feel the downward motion through the top of the head to the feet. Breathe out. And then one more breath. And then bring your feet together. We're going to do something called a cleansing breath, which is to just push air through the entire body, basically push chi through the whole body. Breathe in, bring your hands up to your side, raise them, gather all the air you can above your head, and then like you're holding a ball, pull the ball down, come around the back of your hips, and push down all the way to the ground, hanging here, stretching. And then breathing in again, coming up the center of the legs. And now come up and bring your hands back around the hips to the kidney area, the lower back, and push forward. So that's what I call a cleansing breath, to go through the whole system. Let's do one more because that was a lot of explanation, and we're going to move on with some more Qigong. So breathe in again. And now this is all exhalation, all the way to the ground. This is all inhalation. All the way to your lower back and push. And then shake it off. Okay, so this is a strong, stable stance like an ox. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move a little bit more, but we're going to continue to hold on to this idea of being very stable and upright and like a mountain. There's a comparison I like to think of, like the ox and the mountain are very similar, symbolic reference in a lot of this stuff. So push your feet shoulder width apart again. And one of the things you do in Qigong all the time, which is very common, is you hold a ball, imaginary ball in your hands. So we're just going to practice picking that up and holding on to it. So from the hands here, imagine you pick something up, like it comes into your hands as they rise together. And it's about a 5-pin bowling ball size. And then your hands sink and you feel the weight of it and you let your body rest. Do it again. Hands down one more time. Breathe in, gather. And then breathe out. And then you feel the weight of that. Now, hold on to it. We're going to step forward with our left foot. What we're going to do is, we're going to extend and come out and push our palms forward. So from here, I'm rotating my palm up and I'm extending my arm as far up and past my head as I can, and I'm leaning. I'm actually bringing my weight to being on top of my lead foot. And then I'm going to take my back foot and bring it up. And then I'm going to stand and hold the ball up. Okay? So I'll go this way, starting with your left foot, holding the ball. Feel the dynamic of it. Now, like an ox, because that's my theme of the day, we're going to take a powerful step forward and hold the ground and push or pull, depending on how you want to think of it, up. And then bring your back foot up, straighten your back, and let your weight sink. And now just the other foot to step, so stepping with the right, forward, and extend, bring the head forward. Extend your fingertips, and then bring your back foot up, and then straighten your back, and come back to peace. Now I can do about 2 steps. You can adjust to what you need to do. We'll just do a few more of these. Now, breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out for no reason. Just relax, feel the dynamic of this posture and the idea that your hands are connected, even if they're not touching. Now, breathe in again. And step forward with your left and breathe out and extend. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out and root. Breathe in again. Step out with the other foot. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out and rest. Good. Starting to make sense, I think. Let's do one more round, and I won't talk as much. When you stand up, part of the exercise is that your back is forward, you're leaning forward, and it straightens and sinks. So remember from the beginning of the class, we were going like this. There's a feeling of up and sinking. So you want to really touch into that because it really sets the spine on the feet, in the head, on the shoulders, and all that. Okay? So shake it out. Grab the ball, relax, and here we go. It is actually, I gotta add this in. When you do this, you can kind of think about the idea that there's a resistance to moving forward, and that'll help you align your muscles better. And that's a lot like this ox pulling the plow, is this powerful moving forward like this. This Qigong is symbolic of moving forward into the future with a kind of disciplined assertiveness. So it's not aggressive, like I'm not charging in, but I'm moving forward, and that's what I'm going to do. The reason that you're leaning into like a posture like this, though, is that you're doing it with a lot of humility. It's just like, okay, I need to move forward. There I am. Okay, that's a bit of the metaphysics of it. Has to do with liver channel and this kind of thing. So, one more time. Grab the ball. And then moving forward with, what did I say? Humble assertiveness. I like that. That's right. So breathe in and move forward. And then you've reached into the future. Bring your back foot up and stand there and hold the ground. Again. And one more time. Feel that dynamic, gather that energy. And then we're going to do one more cleansing breath style. This is a little different. This one comes down, up, open, breathing in. And then coming down, The fingertips, it's as if you're pulling open a curtain, coming down at about the height of your throat, pulling open the curtains, getting and pulling back behind your hips here. Okay, so let's do 2 more of those. In and out. In and breathe out all the air you can. Hold the exhalation, push, 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 push out all the air you can. And then relax and shake it out. So just because I'm aiming at this theme, the more one of the interesting things about this like Qigong and the other things I teach is the more you focus on any one element, the more you see that element in many, many things. And with the ox thing, if you think about what we did was first we kind of got our base moving, we got the core moving, and then we took some steps to develop some strength. Now we also want to extend up, and you can imagine an ox with big horns, and it's standing there, and it's very, very full of life and power and energy, and it's rising upwards too in that sense through its head. So we're going to do that, some expansion upwards idea. So if you put your feet back to shoulder width apart and relax, put your hands to here. We're going to think about the idea that you can push the top of the back of your head upwards while your hips are sinking down. And there's a pull between the top of the head and the bottom of the hips. Now in Taoist medicine and Qigong, this idea of a connection from here to here is called the microcosmic orbit. And you want your breathing to circulate your qi, the work of the qi in the Qigong, from the top to the bottom in a cycle. And so this exercise is highly aligned to that idea, but this is all just information. You don't have to be perfect, just have fun with it. It's a good way to wake up and stretch. So the right hand is going to do the first thing we're going to think about. And then, so it's from here, it's going to climb up on the left side of the body. And as it comes up across the line of the eye, it's going to turn out again towards the front and extend up until you get to the point that, sorry, I should have said this. You want to imagine a rectangle here, right? So 2 bottom corners, 2 top corners, and the right hand's going to climb up and then push out to the outer corner of the rectangle on this top part. The left hand mind at the same time should be at the bottom corner of the left. And so what we're going to do is we're going to allow the 2 hands to go from top to bottom position together. So my left hand is now going to climb up on my right side, and my right hand's going to fall down, and then my left hand's going to push out, and my right hand's going to come back down. And you want to extend up and down. You want to feel a pull up and down when you do this. Okay? So breathe in. Let your hips rotate into spot. Stretch your spine, stretch your arms. Breathe in and think of all the back muscles, the muscles down your spine that need to be stretched regularly. Think about all the muscles that connect the spine to the hips at the bottom of the spine. That's another area that needs tension. Let it stretch, let it sort of wiggle itself into position a little bit. And the image that comes with this one is often a spiral upwards. So you can think of like a DNA sort of shaped spiral going up through your hands here. And then we'll do a few more. And then one more. Bring your hands together. feet in, and now just stand and let all the blood circulate, all the energy circulate. Feel that now. We'll have a stretch. So we start with the stretch. We're going to put our feet back out. We're going to point our knees out to the corner, or our toes out to the corner, and bring our hands to our knees. And sink down. Move side to side a little bit. Trying to get the hips to relax. And then go forward, sink down. Push the knees out. And just relax, stretching down. Now come up. Allow yourself to turn your elbow to your knee and look up at the ceiling. Then go the other way. And then straighten up. And then turn yourself to your left. Push your left foot to your left. Stretch to the left. And then go over to the right. Stretch to the right. Push your weight forward. Really let the hips relax. It's very important to get the muscles to relax. If you don't have relaxed muscles, the idea is the energy, the chi doesn't flow. And so go back to the left and turn all the way to what I call runner stretch with the heel up in the back. And let the hips just relax and hold your weight up. And then bring yourself back to your right foot and do runner stretch to the right. Sink down. And then bring your weight back to your left foot. I don't know if you can see my feet on that well. Back to your left foot. Put your right foot in the air like this, toes in the air, and just try to sink down onto your left foot, pushing the right foot out. Whatever degree you're comfortable. And then switch feet. Same thing. And then bring your hands to the middle. Work your feet in. Stretch your legs. Straighten your legs, stretching the back of the legs. And then breathe in slowly. Bring the hands up the back of the knees. Put your hands to your kidneys and push out, breathe out. And then circle your hips. One way and the other way. Good. So, shake it out. Let your arms out. Now think of extending your fingertips, and when you do, your hands come slightly back behind your shoulders. So what it's doing is opening the chest. So breathe in, relax, breathe out, open the chest. Now one more, open, expand, and then just come back to a neutral place and start to roll the wrist forward. Keep your arms out away from your shoulders. And then roll your wrists and elbows forward. And then roll your entire arms from your shoulder in a big circle, fairly slow. And then extend again. And then put your wrist, or get your wrist to go backwards. And then wrists and elbows. And then big circles back. And then down. Now grab that ball again, bring it up over your head. And then with no tension anywhere in the body, smash it on the ground. 2, 3. And then reach up. And now there's a theory within this context of Qigong that you want to push your mind to your fingertips. So I'm going to reach up and I want to push my mind, my awareness into my fingertips, and through the fingertips project my energy or my mind, however you want to think of it, straight up through the ceiling into the atmosphere. So this stretch isn't just to stretch your body, but it's also to stretch your mind, so to speak, your energy, by pushing and focusing up as high as you can. Now, bring yourself forward onto your feet and then push up your heels, your tippy toes, as they say, and imagine that you're trying to reach for the moon, essentially. You're trying to extend right up through the atmosphere. And then bring your heels down. Grab your elbow, pull it against the front top of your chest, and then twist your body as far as you can. And then go the other way. Twist your body as far as you can. And then we're going to do one more reach up. So bring your hands up over your head. Extend through your fingertips right up to the ceiling into the atmosphere as high as you can. And then bring your weight forward to the front of your feet and push up your heels, tippy toes, one more time. And then let your heels back down. Bring your hands to the top of your arms, shoulders, and let your elbows fall. And then let your hands fall. And then sort of lightly rotate your shoulders as you feel you need to. But allow the feeling here, let the hands stay like this, and allow the feeling of the blood circulating down to the hands to, that's a good feeling, let that feeling kind of grow. So remember, Qi, whatever else it is considered to be sorry, I should say this way. Blood is considered the physical manifestation of Qi. So when you're feeling the blood coming into your hands here, which is so good for you, so healthy, that's the Qi infusing itself down to your fingertips, which is what the point of that was. Now, there's a lot of layers to different things, but what we want to do is what we did. We warm up the core, right? We started with warming up the core. We got the legs warmed up. We got the extension through the body, some strength, some feeling of power in that way. We also extended up and down, and then we stretched our legs. We stretched our shoulders, and we want to do a quick stretch now for the wrists. And the reason we want to do this particularly for Qigong is because it's through the sensitivity of the hands that you really develop the awareness of Qi. And so paying attention to your hands is really important. Your hands have a lot of sensitivity to them. They can be, you bring your hand over a hot plate, you can sense the heat really well, better than other parts of the body, this kind of thing. So you want to stretch the wrists and keep them very limber so that they can do their job very well. So take your right hand, extend it forward, pull the fingers back. And by pulling the fingers back, you're allowing this tendons all through here to stretch. And then turn the hand over and push the fingers up and back. And then shake it out. And then we'll just do the same thing on the left hand, fingers down, pull the wrist back. And then fingers up, push back. And then shake it off. And then put your hands on your stomach or your hips, depending on what you prefer. And then just turn your head side to side and allow the neck to relax a little bit more. And then drop and roll, and drop and roll. Look forward, stretch up, stretch down, and circle. 1, 2, 3, and the other way. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so about 10 minutes left, which is just what I wanted. That was we did a warm up, we did a stretch, and I talked about some basic principles. All of that is Qigong, because Qigong is this big term that relates to everything to do with exercising, largely mindful exercising, let's say. But if you were to get into more refined understanding, one of the big things you want to, that develops a person who has a refined understanding is sensitivity of awareness and the development of, they would say, subtle awareness and different ways to describe it. So what you want to do is you want to really calm your mind, and you want to pay attention to the most minute, sensational bits of information coming from your body. And then we can take that and use it, and today, as I said, is for health. I'm going to talk about the idea of health of the digestive system, which is related to ox. And a couple, I'm going to even teach a couple points that we can use to self-care for our digestive system through Chinese medicine if we want. But anyways, let me get to that. So the first thing though is the awareness. The awareness is more important than the technique. And so this position, we touched on this really quickly, was to stand feet below the shoulders, head above, feet below the hips, shoulders above in line with the hips, head in line with the shoulders. So everything's in line right down to the feet. And I'm standing and I'm allowing myself to feel the push of energy coming up the spine to the top of the head, but I'm also allowing the pull of gravity down through my feet. There's a dynamic of holding yourself here, you're going to feel. Now, allow your hands to rise up your center and hold themselves essentially in front of your solar plexus, fingers turned in, thumbs down, but your thumbs be up. And just be aware. Just be as aware as you can of how you feel, how it feels to stand here, how your hands feel. Where's your breathing? Is your breathing up in here? Try to allow it to come down into here. Relax your knees, all of this kind of thing. So this is called pile stance, and it is to develop Qi. So just for a moment, do this. Now, the eyes are important here too. Don't look at your hands. Don't look at anything specific in the room you're in. Try to look out as if you're on the top of a mountain, gazing from hundreds of miles around, all around you. And so you got no specific object to look at. It's just this huge, beautiful vista. And now we have to move a little bit quick too, but as you do that, breathe into your belly, into your hara, your Yat-Sen. So we'll do it together. Breathe in and hold it for a second. Hold it for a moment. And now breathe out. Hold it for a moment. Breathe in again. Hold it again. Breathe out again. Hold it again. And then continue at your own pace, but have these moments of holding the breath at the top and the bottom, and allow those moments to deepen your relaxation. Now, let your hands fall. And now, without touching your arm, take your touching your body, take your right hand and bring it up to your left shoulder. Now, I want you to imagine that there's an energetic field around your arm, and you're going to pull it down the shoulder, around the thumb, and then back up around the finger, and then back up around the shoulder. So it's a massage for the chi. And it's also an exercise to develop the sensation and the awareness of the sensation. Whatever it is, there's no bad interpretation. It's just a relaxed feeling in the body. And then an amplification of that sensation to whatever degree you can. But there's no measurement. It's just a dynamic. I would consider this the breath in, although I wouldn't tell you you have to do it that way. I would consider this the breath out. But again, it's up to you too. This is very intuitive. One more. Come back down. Breathe out. Relax. And then switch hands. Other hand up and down. One more. Come up. Come back down. Relax. Then gather. Bring the hands up. Allow yourself to feel whatever dynamic you can feel between your hands. Even if it's nothing, just feel the nothing. And now we're going to do some self-acupressure massage for the face. So we're going to go to 3 points. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to wash the face. We're going to just sort of clean, open the eyes, around, make sure you get behind the ears and down. Sort of readying it for the application of the points. Now, bring your hands along either side of your jaw and clench your jaw. And where you clench your jaw, there's the muscle here will contract, you'll feel it. Put your middle fingers on the center of the muscle. And then lightly massage that muscle at the center point in a spiral with the focus of the fingers coming together. And then massage the other way. And massage in any way you feel is appropriate, but try to stay focused at the center of the muscle. And then just push, direct pressure, both fingers on that center point of the muscle. And then wash the face again, sort of smooth it out, especially the jaw. Come around the jaw a few times. Open your jaw. Shake it out a bit. Good. Now, bring your hands from here forward and come to the bottom of the nose on each side of the nostril and massage in here. And you'll find there's a spot just in here, you usually feel it right away, that has a sensation that connects to the nasal cavity in here. So just sort of massage this upper corners here. Definitely helps clear the nose when it's clogged up sometimes too. And massage in both directions, forward and back. And then rub up and around the face a little bit. Shake that out. And then we'll do one more spot. We're going to come up. And this one's a little bit trickier to do just because it requires a lot of sensitivity to do it at all. But we're going to come up and bring our hands to the upper corners of our forehead. Now, if I had a more of a, hairline, it would be more naturally here. It's just in front of where that hairline would be on the 2 corners. And I'm going to just gently massage that spot with my middle fingers. And the way you know you have it is by paying attention to the sensation on the top of the head. There's a particular feeling when you connect to a point here that really makes it work. Nice and gentle, very small. There's only skin and bone here, so it has to be connecting to the energy to make it make sense. And then massage the other way, of course. And then, this is as far into this idea as I'll go today. You're just going to put pressure down with your fingers, but you're going to project in your mind your energetic dynamic going through your whole body to your feet as a final bit for the day. And then back to just wash. Take your fingertips like this and go through your hair with a little scratch. And then around your ears. And then down your shoulders and arms. And then chest and belly. Back and hips. Down the outside of the legs. Up the inside. Shake it out. So, how did that do? Perfect. The reason I chose those points before we finish is this is a stomach point, and it's to do with chewing. And ox are very good for reminding us that we need to keep our jaw muscles strong by chewing a lot. This is actually good for your face. And so that one's good for the lockjaw and for that idea. This is large intestine, so digestion, which is connected to stomach, and the idea that what you take in for food, which is something the ox eats a lot of food, we want to keep aware of for health. So there's the idea of that. And this one is also a stomach one. And it's more to do with the metaphysical stomach of digesting life experiences and letting them pass through you. So that was my take on the ox and a bit of Qigong for the day. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.